Hey everybody. In this video I'm going to be talking about magicJack. And I don't know if you have noticed, but magicJack has decided to increase prices yet again. They come out with a new magicJack and it's called the magicJack Go. And to be honest, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this new device, but it just seems like a fancied up magicJack Plus. I mean, I don't see the big difference between a magicJack Plus and a magicJack Go. Maybe the magicJack Go is a little bit smaller, like the standard, like the first gen magicJack Plus or the original magicJack. But I mean, they're selling the device for $60, which is a little bit cheaper than what the standard magicJack Plus, the original magicJack Plus, got sold for, which was $69.95. The $59.95 gets you the device and a year of service. But magicJack has, like I mentioned, they have changed pricing with the release of this device, and now you can buy service in as little as monthly increments or 5 years. So you can buy it in monthly, 6 months, a year, or 5 years. Now, if you didn't know, when magicJack came out, you could get a year of service for $19.95 a year, or 5 years of service for as low as $59.95 for the 5 years. Usually it was $69.95, but I've seen it go for as cheap as $59.95. Now, I've been with magicJack Plus since 2000. I've been with magicJack since 2010. My buddy Tim, he purchased magicJack back in like 2008 or even 2007. I can't remember for sure, but he's had his practically ever since they came out. And I've had magicJack Plus since 2012. So yeah, you can pretty much say I'm a long-time magicJack customer. And for the most part, service has been pretty decent. Service is a lot better with the magicJack Plus than it was with standard magicJack. I mean, with the magicJack Plus, it's like a landline phone in my opinion. As long as you have decent internet access, it's pretty much going to work like it's supposed to. But the big thing that made magicJack stand out so much was the fact that its phone service was so cheap. I mean, you bought the original magicJack from, wherever, Walmart or Best Buy, Radio Shack, or from magicJack themselves, which I don't recommend that. But you buy the device from Walmart or wherever for $39.95, and it includes your first year of service, and additional years are $19.95 a year, and 5-year plans are $59.95 or $69.95. But with the release of the magicJack Plus, they increased the annual price to $29.95 a year. Now, for about 4 or 5 months, this was only in effect for the magicJack Plus. I mean, if you had a standard magicJack, you could still get years of service for $19.95 a year. But yeah, with the release of magicJack Plus, they increased the price to $29.95, and in January or February 2012, they increased. They set the $29.95 annual rate for all magicJack devices. Now, that was, I mentioned, the beginning of 2012. Here it is, July 2014. Well, this actually took effect in June. They decided to go up to $35 a year on the 1-year plan. Now, get this. As I mentioned, this device here, when they still sold these, they were $39.95. I just bought a magicJack Plus about 2 weeks ago at Walmart on sale for $39.95. Well, less than that actually. So yeah, I got the device for just a little more than what they're now charging for years of service, which is still not bad for home phone service. Now, magicJack, within the past couple of years, they have kind of transformed themselves. Used to be that their website was very poorly designed. You had very little, customer support. But recently they have redesigned their website from the ground up. It's a lot. They got a lot more graphics and stuff in their website. You can find it. You can find them on social sites like Facebook and Twitter. And I noticed since the release of the magicJack Go, it says free trial online or call, whatever it is. Well, you can't see it because it's a camera. But it says free trial online or call 1-800-604-6233. So they have a toll-free number you can call. Now, I'm not sure if that's for technical support or if that's just for ordering this thing, but yeah, there's a phone number you can call. So possibly they may be getting phone support, which would be nice. But think of it like this: every time magicJack goes up on prices, you know, they become less of an appealing alternative, I should say, for other services. I mean, for example, magicJack is now $3 a month, and that's when you don't transfer your existing phone number. Basic Talk is $9.99 a month every month, and you buy their device for $9.99, not $59.95. Now there's another competitor called NetTalk, which is, you know, it's like a magicJack with a different name on it. It's about the same thing. You know, the NetTalk Duo is like a magicJack Plus. Now I'm actually looking at NetTalk's terms of service, but let's go back to magicJack right quick. Now let's say if you transfer your existing phone number, it's $19.99 initial to transfer your phone number, but they charge you an additional $10 every year thereafter. So in actuality, a year of service in magicJack when you have an existing phone number is $45 a year. That's $5 more than it was a couple months ago. So you take 45 and divide that by 12. That's $3.75 a month. We're getting close to how much UMA costs with this, you know, with all those taxes and fees. Now, of course, it varies depending on where you live, but magicJack is still, you know, better in regards to price. It's still better than UMA because of the much smaller initial upfront cost. And I mean, I still recommend magicJack because, I mean, the service works and it's still cheap, but, you know, every time they go up in price like this, the less I want to recommend them. Now, I'm afraid that magicJack is going to start to take the path that Vonage took years ago. When Vonage came out, they were really a lot cheaper than, you know, than telephone, you know, like telephone service to the telephone company. But, you know, Vonage nowadays, Vonage is more expensive than what you can get through like your cable company. I mean, for example, Time Warner Cable Home Phone it starts out at $10 a month for 12 months, then it goes up to like I think $20 or $30 a month, which is about the equivalent of Vonage. But yeah, I mean, magicJack, all I can say is you keep increasing prices, you're going to become less of a feasible alternative to other services. I mean, it's pretty bad when you can go to Walmart or some Walmarts and pick up a NetTalk Duo for, I think, what, $69.95, I guess, and it's $29.95 a year, what the magicJack Plus used to cost per year. And if you transfer an existing phone number to NetTalk, it's $20, but you don't have to pay that additional $10 fee every year thereafter. Now, let's say you're wanting to, you decide you want to get a NetTalk Duo. I want to go ahead and finish off this video by talking about terms of service between devices in regards to their usage clauses. Now, let's see if I can. Here we go. Terms of service. Now, with magicJack, it's pretty well stated, and number 6, what they allow and don't allow under proper use. Now, of course, if you don't know, these cheaper end phone services, although they claim to be unlimited, they're not unlimited. I mean, you can't use them for like telemarketing and stuff like that. But see where it says here. Here we go. See, if WiMAX Communications Corporation sees excessive use, including but not limited to a customer whose usage is 20 times more than the average magicJack or magicJack Plus device or magicJack app customer usage, which is, in my opinion, quite a lot. Or a customer who calls more than 50 different telephone numbers per day. So, pretty much tells you right there, don't call more than 50 different numbers a day with a magicJack Plus or magicJack device. Or a customer who forwards calls from the magicJack or magicJack Plus device, blah blah blah, to a non-magicJack number for longer than a 2-week consecutive period. So, if you forward your phone number, if you set up call forwarding to a non-magicJack number, don't have it on for more than 2 weeks. If you do, they're subject to terminate your right to the device, and really what they do is they make you start paying a cent a minute to use the device, from what I've read online in regards to this excessive use. Now, magicJack clearly tells you, when you buy the thing, hey, send us overseas to loved ones. That way they can call back to the U.S. and Canada for dirt cheap. Now let's go and talk about NetTalk. Let's go ahead and look at their reasonable use policy, at their unauthorized uses. Now, magicJack clearly says you can use this as a business, but you look in the terms of service, just as long as you stay within that 20 times per, 20 times the average use, no more than 50 different numbers per day called out, and no excessive forwarding to a non-magicJack number, you should be fine. Now, NetTalk tells you, now, the thing about NetTalk is they're not nearly as clear on their reasonable use. So let's go and talk about that. It says unauthorized uses. NetTalk assesses customer usage as compared to similarly simulated customers, residential use, and residential service plans. Each of the following is considered unusual personal residential use, and it is an unacceptable use of a residential. It's the use by or for others who do not live with you. Now, how are they going to be able to determine that? Now, I think magicJack may have a clause like this too, and it makes absolutely no sense to me. See, operation of a business, even if the residence is operated. So NetTalk says, no, do not use this for business purposes at all. magicJack says, you can use this for business, but, of course, in terms of service, you got to follow that. Make sure you don't go over the excessive use clause that they clearly tell you. Operation of any enterprise, including non-profit. I know an enterprise in Huntersville that uses magicJack for their phone number, and it's actually a non-profit that's, I think it's a horse rescue. Operation of a call center. Resell to other. Now, magicJack clearly says do not resell to other people too. Automatic dialing or fax voice of explosions. Telemarketing. The use without direct dialogue, including use as a monitor, intercom, or for transcription purposes. Excessive unique numbers called. Excessive lengths of calls. Now, with magicJack, if you call out to somebody that's a non-magicJack number, they will cut you off after an hour and a half of being on the phone. Excessive call forward transfer. They don't tell you what's excessive here. magicJack does, and it's 2 weeks. Excessive conference calls. Now, with the magicJack Go, they give you a free conference call number. Now, I don't use conference with magicJack. Now, of course, people have complained about that it doesn't work well. Now, I've never used it, don't have a use for it. Now, look here. Excessive short calls. Now, they tell you this number of things here, but they don't give you any specific, information about, what's excessive. magicJack tells you 20 times the average use, but they don't tell you the average use. But, with magicJack, considering that many people are moving to magicJack, that average use is going up quite a bit. Now, somewhere in here, let me go and go back to the terms of service. And they tell you in here somewhere that it's against their terms of service to use NetTalk outside the United States. So in regards to that, I think you're better off with a magicJack device, because magicJack tells you, hey, you can take this overseas and use it. So, I think, in regards to the two in terms of what they consider excessive use, I still think magicJack Plus, or magicJack Go, or magicJack is still the better of the two. But yeah, I am kind of disappointed with magicJack right now because of the fact that they went up on prices in 2012. And they went up in price again in 2014. You add $5 more, you'll have double the price of what they used to charge for renewal. Now, of course, I can factor in that there is inflation and stuff like that, but if magicJack is going to increase their price to $35 a year, I really hope to see much better customer support from them. And when it's $35 a year, I think they could easily do without that $10 annual fee for number porting. So yeah, I know this is kind of getting to be a long video and kind of random, but I just wanted to kind of share my opinions about magicJack's recent change, and sort of a comparison between terms of service between magicJack and NetTalk. So anyways, any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.